So a couple weeks ago was Valentine's Day, right?
Yep.
And so I went with a few friends of mine to a roller rink, just to hang out, and it was a good time. I was actually surprisingly all right at it, and naturally by the end of the night I got really overconfident, and I started trying to skate backwards, which is significantly more difficult than skating forwards.
I
let me tell
can
you.
vividly picture this. This is exactly what you do at a roller rink.
It's exactly what I do. Like, I just, give me a little bit of confidence, and I will take that way too far. And I was falling down a lot because it was skating backwards was tough, and it's like the first time I've gone skating since I was 8. And I felt really bad on my arm, and this kid laughed at me. She's probably like 6 or 7, maybe 8, I don't know. And I started talking to her for a little bit in a non-creepy way. And gotta stop, because it's really weird for like a grown adult guy to talk to a little kid. Gotta be specific on that. And I asked this kid, hey kid, how fast can you skate? And she took off, and she completely ate it. Oh, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, and it felt like karma. It felt good because she laughed at me.
Yeah. Okay. So you went to a skating rink on Valentine's Day. That's the first thing we need to address.
Please, bro. That's just what you do.
Like, you went to see someone with some friends?
Yeah, we just went,
And it wasn't your idea?
No, it's not my idea.
What was really your idea?
Trying to skate backwards.
Okay. And then you dared an 8-year-old to skate as fast as... Was it a she or a he?
It was a she.
Skate as fast as she could, and she fell on her face.
That's exactly what happened. And I'm still laughing about it.
What a Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Did she see you laughing at her?
Well, yeah, I mean, she wasn't hurt or anything. She, got up laughing, and I was laughing. It was a good moment.
Right, okay. So, on Valentine's Day, you went to a skating rink and connected with an 8-year-old?
That's why I said it in a non-creepy way.
Okay.
This is the reason I get specific.
You got to, yeah. Okay.
I want to cut this whole thing out.
We'll see if it survives. Welcome to episode 31. In a completely not creepy way. This is... I mean, they're really all special editions, but this is another one as well. The Oscars just happened Sunday, this past Sunday, so we had to bring in our senior cinematic arts correspondent and executive vice president of graphic design, Claire, is
also
back.
known as the person that lost the movie trivia episode.
Honestly, thank you so much for the official employee titles. I really appreciate it. Always happy to be here.
You're welcome. It's really big of you to not address no. This is something the 8-year-old couldn't do.
I think there's going to be a lot of moments where I refuse to address Noah in this episode.
Oh, this is making up to be a great episode, a classic.
Yes, it is. So we're going to give our Oscars recaps. We're going to give out some of our own awards, and then we're just going to go on our own little rants and raves about the 90th Annual Academy Awards, which can only be described as a colossal disappointment to our resident reporter. Claire, how many movies did you see in the theater last year?
In the theater last year, I saw 38, but I've already seen 16 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
She's counting.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, okay.
You are committed to the pod.
Yeah.
Watching all those movies just for this episode?
She did.
Everything I do is for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Same?
Yeah, no. In an indirect way, that's true, because all the dumb shit we do ends up on this, so.
That's true. That's why I got the girl to skate fast, was to tell the story in the pod.
No, it's a hideous story, and don't tell people it.
I really do want to take that out. That, like, retrospect, it's not a good look.
No, it's not.
We've referenced it too many times to take it out at this point.
Oh, shit. You're right. Oh.
So, Clara, you are definitely, one of the people who've seen more movies. You're more connected into what's going on than I would say the average person, which is why we chose to bring you on for our Oscars recap.
She has a Twitter account. Everybody should go follow her.
That's true. Yes.
I was temporarily locked out of my movie Twitter account because I was tweeting too much, and Twitter said they found suspicious activity on my movie Twitter account. So I was just tweeting too much and cyberbullying people. It was a whole thing.
Weren't you
I'm back in. I'm back in.
Weren't you cyberbullying like Jeremy Lin?
Well, yeah, I was cyberbullying Jeremy Lin because I want him to tweet about Kobe winning. I was cyberbullying Ryan Seacrest because he sucks. I was cyberbullying the Academy. I just kept adding the Academy, and I was waiting for them to block me, but they didn't. And then today I announced that I'm cyberbullying myself from my movie account.
Oh,
so I'm really busy. I'm really busy cyberbullying these days.
Well, good luck to that.
Thank you so much. But the important stat here is that I saw 7 of the 9 Best Picture movies.
What were the 2 you did not see?
I did not see Darkest Hour, and I did not see Dunkirk.
Interesting.
Dunkirk was good. It didn't deserve to win all those Oscars, but it was good.
I don't need to see soldiers die. That's not something I need to happen in my life.
I get that, but it was a different type of war movie. Like, it wasn't like your typical, like,
No, is that the only movie you saw?
No, it was not.
You saw Thor!
I saw Thor! Thank you! Hey, remember that time I won the trivia?
What are you starting with?
Okay, let's get into some of the awards. So, I'm just gonna go from top to bottom. I don't even know if this is the best order to do this in. It's not. I might even go bottom to top, because that looks better than the way I wrote it. So the first one we're gonna do is Best Dressed. So
man.
Who, in your guys' opinion, was the best dressed? And Noah, you actually pointed out someone you noticed on the red carpet.
I did. I'll tell you who wasn't the best dressed. I got a few. Number 1 is Nicole Kidman.
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely so wrong.
She looks like she should be in a Dr. Seuss book.
She looks like a dream. She looks like a dream.
Why? The bow should go on the back.
It doesn't matter. Nicole Kidman can wear whatever she wants. She's amazing.
No, Next. You can't just say, like, everybody, no.
There's
not one person that can wear whatever they want.
I'm celebrating women, and Nicole Kidman can wear whatever the fuck she wants. She looked amazing.
No, she looks...
How fast can she skate?
What other one did I think looked awful?
You said there was an old woman or something with a dress that looked like it was from the 50s.
She was like an elderly woman that, like...
Oh my god, it hurt! It hurt! You can't say that! You can't just throw those words around like that. Wow. Do you even know who it was?
No, I don't, but I think she looked like she was in the 60s.
Like, and do you know? I don't trust that you know that a dress is from the 60s.
No, she did. She looked like she was in her 60s, elderly. But, like, the dress... Oh, you're talking about the dress. I got lost there.
No,
the dress looked... It was just kind of like... I don't know. It's just a... Jennifer Lawrence's dress looks like reptile scales.
I don't even know who he's talking about, to be honest.
I don't know who
I thought he was talking about Rita, but I don't think he is.
He wouldn't even know if he's talking about Rita.
I wouldn't know. Who's Rita? What's her last name?
Rita Moreno. Okay, which brings us to my best dress of the night, which is Rita Moreno, who wore the dress she wore in 1962 when she won Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story.
Oh, that is the dress I'm talking about.
Okay, so fuck you, Noah. You know nothing about history. It was an amazing dress. It was a power move to wear that. She's making a comeback. She looks amazing.
She really
I
owned
could
her
go on and
presentation.
on. I could go on and on. She did. Yeah, she did great.
To cycle back, who was your best dress, Noah?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Gail Gadget's dress was beautiful.
I can't even remember it. That's how insignificant it was to me.
I think it was silver.
Oh, Allison Janney's.
Yeah, her sleeves were amazing.
The sleeves. Absolutely. Oh, also, Timothy with an accent. Clamet. The guy from...
Chalamet!
Yeah.
Clamet?
Holy shit.
Tomato. The full white is a bold move. And he can't pull it off, but at least he went for it. And yeah, that's my wardrobe opinions.
Thank you for your high fashion opinions.
Well, now it's your turn.
Okay, I got two. Well, I really got a group. So I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Danai Gurira. Basically just the cast of Black Panther. That's my pick. Chadwick Boseman also had kind of a Black Panther thing going on. Yeah, I just thought that was cool how they all did that. And yeah, that was my pick for best dressed.
Yeah, the Black Panther cast looked amazing.
Okay, next one is worst presenter.
Yeah, I didn't come up with this one because I couldn't really remember one I actively disliked. And so that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you for your analysis, Noah.
Welcome.
Yeah, I didn't really have one either. I had more to worry about than the presenters.
Fair enough. Mine was BB-8. And all the Star Wars, that whole Star Wars, Oscar Isaac and Mark Hamill, and I don't remember the other girl's name. They were bad. They were not good presenters. They weren't funny, and they were not good. They
presented the animated awards.
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
I agree. Bringing the robot out was it was a dumb move. You know,
yeah.
I don't think it was. It was just cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Best presenter then.
Oh, Tiffany Haddish and Maya Rudolph.
Yeah,
were hysterical.
They probably were. I picked someone else, but yeah, they were great.
I've heard rumors of them they should host the Oscars next year as a tandem. I think that'd be awesome.
They'd be really good, yeah. Although I will say, in relation to our best dressed, my roommate Helen wasn't really big on the way Maya was dressed.
Wow.
Person I won't mention, you're wrong. I want you to know.
What about you, Claire? Do you have the best presenter?
Well, I already talked about Rita Moreno. I also loved Sandra Bullock's. Just always great to see her. Oh, when she said, Gal Gadot was looking in a mirror or whatever. That was cute.
Was pretty funny.
But I think my favorite one was my queen, Greta Gerwig, and Laura Dern presenting, and they were holding hands, and Laura Dern was wearing glasses, and it was so tender. It was amazing. That's my best presenters.
Right. I should have known you were going to pick that one.
Yeah, you should have.
Mine is going to be Kumail and Lupita. I thought they were really funny. I honestly have no idea what they presented.
Achievement in set design.
Thank you, Claire. Honestly,
that would have probably been my number two.
Kumail's always funny in any medium, because that's not an easy thing to be funny in, because everything's so scripted, and it's just kind of a weird atmosphere. It always feels like for comedy at those things. But he was genuinely pretty funny, and Lupita was great. Lupita's always great. So yeah, they were my pick. All right, next one. Best speech.
I gave it to Francis.
Yeah, that's what
because I thought it was just the best speech. And also, I don't really listen to most of them, and that was one of the few ones I did listen to.
You could pick, who is it? Mark Bridges, who won the jet ski?
Oh, right. That might have been the best one because it was short, because they're all too long.
I thought about picking Oprah, even though she didn't talk at this. She talked at the Golden Globes, but it was that powerful.
I would be so offended if you had pulled that out.
No, I picked Frances. Who did you pick, Claire?
Okay, I picked Frances too. I was bored that she won because she had been winning all season, but the speech really made up for it. But I would say in a close second is when The Silent Child won for short film live action, and that beautiful signing. That was really beautiful.
That was really cool. That was a good moment.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Okay, the next award, this is where it starts to get a little interesting. Biggest winner. This is just your winner of the night. And as Claire had us clarify, this is like a, what did you say, metaphorical or
spiritual,
emotional sort of award. It's not a who literally won more. So Noah, what's your pick?
I did the country of Mexico because Coco did so well, and then Guillermo won. You know,
Guillermo.
I could not remember how to pronounce his last name. Guillermo. So I muttered through it, hoping nobody would notice, and I was that close. I thought nobody was going to say anything.
You did great.
Who was your pick, Claire?
I put Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I think that means a lot. I think that was a big one for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You too won't be able to hear this, but everyone else will. But right now, I am playing the Mexican national anthem because the country of Mexico took home the biggest victory at the Oscars. Guillermo, Coco, Remember Me, which Claire's not happy about. We'll talk about that. But what a moment for Mexicans. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay.
Oh, I'm so disappointed I said it before you. That would have been incredible.
Wow.
So yeah, the country of Mexico. Biggest winner.
That was great. I can't wait to listen back.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is a little interesting. Most awkward moment of the night.
I've been going first a lot. Somebody else want to go?
I'll go first. I think, well, first of all, it went way too long, which Noah could talk about later. But one of the reasons why it went too long is there are so many, like, stupid things, and I feel like this is mean saying, because I think my problem with this section was more the time and, like, why it was in there in the first place, rather than the meaning behind it. But they did this whole military history segment, like the history of military movies, and I didn't understand why it was in there or why it was where it was. I don't know. What did you guys think of that? I thought it was weird.
I get all of your critiques 100%, but any of those, what is it, montage? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Any of those montages, it hits you, man. I'm all sold for all of them. They make me weirdly proud.
That was like the worst montage, though.
That was probably the worst of them, but it was still entertaining.
What were your thoughts on that, Claire?
I thought it just felt misplaced, and now looking back, I don't even remember where or when it was.
It was later, I feel like.
It was later. So, yeah, I think it was just slightly misplaced. It should have been earlier when Dunkirk was winning everything.
Yeah, maybe that would have been.
When I was thinking about war films.
But the only thing I was thinking about was, like, why am I watching a montage of war films now? Like,
no, you're absolutely correct. What was the point of that?
So that was my pick. What about you guys?
This is most awkward, right?
Yes.
I think just, like, the ending and Jimmy Kimmel came out and he was like,
weird.
What do you want to say?
They cut off the second speaker. Like, they usually let all those white guys talk. But they only let Guillermo talk.
The ending was so awkward, like, it's
because they ran so late.
Yeah, because Jimmy Kimmel had to come out and bring out the jet ski, like, I don't know, I was so uncomfortable and emotional at this point, like, it was too much for me at the end.
Yeah, I totally went to bed right after they announced the Best Picture award. I was like, peace out. I'm sleeping.
Some of us were too worked up to sleep.
What was that?
I was too worked up to sleep.
I respect that. That happens to me after Cowboy games. My most awkward moment was when they went into the movie theater. That whole thing was just like, why?
That was my second pick.
It's late. I want to go to bed. What is the point of this? There's no point. It was stupid. The whole thing was the worst part of the Oscars.
It was just because Jimmy Kimmel wanted to do the same thing he did last year, but he couldn't do the exact same thing, so he just did the opposite. Where they crashed the theater instead of having people crash the theater. Like, look at us with the normals.
That's
what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was awful. And they interrupted the showing of the movie. What was it, Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah.
They interrupted. If I were a huge fan of that movie, I'd be pissed. Like, I don't want to be on a fucking screen. I want to be watching the movie.
But I mean, you get to meet like Gal Gadot and Mark Hamill.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, have Ansel shoot hot dogs through a hot dog cannon at you.
That's pretty cool too, isn't it?
All right, best moment of the night. What you guys got? Let's start with Claire.
No, you can't start with me.
Okay. Did you have a best moment?
No, can we come back to me?
Moment?
Yeah. Alright, I'll go with mine. My best moment was Jordan Peele winning. I thought that was a pleasant surprise. It was like the one thing, it was like the one movie there's really two movies that everyone was hoping would win something, and it was the one that did. The other one was Claire's favorite movie, which did not.
No.
But it was like those were like the two fan favorites, right? I mean, that's really what it was, and it was the one that won, so that was kind of the only satisfying moment for a lot of people, or somewhat satisfying in Claire's case. I don't even know if I would put satisfying. It was like the least shit moment, maybe, as Noah said.
My best moment was getting to go to bed because it was like 11:50, and it was late. I was tired, and I was angry that Shape of Water won.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Claire?
My best moment is when Keela Settle performed This Is Me, because I still had so much optimism in me that it was going to win original song. And I was like, this is it. This is the only thing I love that's going to get an award tonight. And then it didn't. And then... Anyways, my best moment was when she performed before everything came crashing down around me. Yeah.
That was a sad moment. We're gonna come back to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to come back to that.
This is our last award of the Drinking Buddies podcast Oscar recap, and that's the biggest upset. No, yeah.
We also have biggest snub.
Right, I didn't write that one down.
Okay, well, I have stuff to say about it.
Okay, what was your biggest snub?
Okay, well, first of all, in the fucking nominations, the Florida Project should have been nominated for more than one award. It only was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, William Dafoe, which was well-deserved, but it should have been nominated for cinematography, and that's just that. That's all I have to say about that. But the biggest snub winner-wise is, of course, Lady Bird.
You want to talk about that more?
I would love to talk about it. Like, we got 5 nominations, but we didn't get any awards. And it was just like, you knew going into it we weren't going to get any awards, but then the night.
I say we.
Yeah,
I
of course.
completely respect that.
Me too.
Of course, yeah. We knew we weren't going to get anything right, but then the night just was so long, and then it just slowly set in that we were going to walk away empty-handed. And it just felt so terrible. Yeah, that's my biggest snub.
It's just Lady Bird general.
Lady Bird and Greta Gerwig. Oh, my sweet Greta Gerwig. And Lauren Metcalf. She was just the early prediction for the winner of Best Supporting Actress, and then Allison Janney came in here and steamrolled us all award season with that freaking bird on her shoulder and her freaking oxygen mask. And I just can't believe it. Like, I can't believe we walked away from that empty-handed. And the whole city of Sacramento, what does the whole city of Sacramento think about this? I can't believe it.
To be honest, like, the last people I'm thinking about regarding the Lady Bird fiasco is the city of Sacramento.
Okay, well, some of us love the city of Sacramento, Eric. Okay.
Why?
Why? Nobody loves the city of Sacramento.
Sacramento.
The whole movie you're talking about is specifically about a person who does not love the city of Sacramento.
Does she or does she not love it, Eric?
She realized she loves it when she moves across the country. That's when she most loves it. She most loves Sacramento when she's thousands of miles away from Sacramento.
Yeah, and you know what? That's when I most love Upland, California. Okay? I understand. Some of us understand what that's like, Eric. Wow.
My biggest stuff was Laura Metcalf.
Thank you. I fucking appreciate that.
Because I don't know. I think she was really good, and she obviously was amazing in the movie. And all I've heard about Allison Janney's performance is that it wasn't even like a peak Allison Janney. It was just kind of good, but I don't know. Noah, who's your biggest snub? Did you write this one down? Because
I did. My biggest snub was Baby Driver.
For sound mixing?
What was that?
For sound mixing?
For sound mixing and just...
I think it should have won for sound mixing.
Absolutely. But there's another couple ones that I was like, this has a shot. It was just a fun movie. Like, if you walked out of Baby Driver and was like, I don't know, like, can you experience fun? It was just... It was just a good movie. I'm happy it was just at the table, I didn't really expect it to win, and in reality it's not an actual snub except for probably for sound, but it was a solid movie.
No, it was just a fun movie, which...
It was better than Lady Bird.
Okay, so fuck that.
I'm kidding. I've never seen it. I actually want to watch Lady Bird.
I've only seen it in theaters 6 times.
True fan.
It means a lot to me.
Alright, are we now ready to get to biggest upset?
Yeah, sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. Are there any others we forgot?
Is that all the time?
You know what? Jessica Chastain should have been nominated for Best Actress for Molly's Game, okay? First of all, she shouldn't have lost to Jennifer Lawrence in 2013 for Silver Linings Playbook, but she should have been nominated for Best Actress. And also, you know what? All the money in the world should have been nominated for Best Editing. With the whole recast of Kevin Spacey for Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that one.
I couldn't agree more, especially about the Jessica stuff.
Thank you so much. Also, Jessica just should have attended. I was snubbed because Jessica didn't even attend. She took a cooking class with her Italian husband.
Well, she wasn't nominated.
She's pretty badass, though.
I just wanted to see what she was going to wear. I don't ask for much. Okay, sorry. Now I'm ready for biggest upset.
What is your biggest upset, Claire?
Oh my god! My biggest upset is This Is Me losing original song. That was the only thing I had any hope for. I was like, Lady Bird's gonna go home empty-handed. Get Out doesn't have a great shot. Like, this is it. This is the only thing that's brought me joy all award season, is This Is Me winning the Golden Globe. And then I had to sit there as Coco was announced. And, like, that's offensive to me as a person.
My favorite part about that, which wasn't much, because I didn't really have a dog in the race, per se, but was your tweet, like, an hour before that, when you said, Coco's coming out here making a push for best song, but we got this, the Greatest Showman. And it didn't happen the way we thought it would.
No, yeah, that was the only thing I thought was going to happen. And it didn't happen. Well, the only thing I wanted to happen that I actually thought would happen, and then it didn't happen. And I don't know when I'm going to be emotionally ready to listen to it again. It's upsetting for me.
Noah, when are you going to be emotionally available to listen to This Is Us?
This Is Us?
I don't know either.
Oh wait, no, This Is Me. God, that's the show, right? That's the show.
Yes.
I thought they were the same thing, if we're being honest.
That's offensive.
Noah, what's your biggest upset?
My biggest upset is The Shape of Water, because I don't know how the fuck a movie that's about a human fucking a fish won Best Picture. Have I seen it? No. But it's still a ridiculous premise. I don't need to see it. It sounds so dumb.
Yeah. That was also my biggest upset. And I'm going to talk about what? I didn't want to pick This Is Me because I knew you were going to pick it. So I wanted to pick something different.
No! What did you guys expect to win Best Picture?
I didn't expect... No, 3 Billboards won the Golden Globe. It won all the other shit.
Yeah, I thought
it didn't win.
was going to win.
Did it win anything?
3
It
Billboards?
won Best Actress.
Oh, right. Francis.
Francis
And Rockwell. Yeah. But, yeah, I was expecting that to make a push for some of those awards, and it was really not really there. Yeah, I really just didn't think Shape of Water would win, and here are the tweets about it. What? Why do you think I should have thought Shape of Water?
I told you all week it was going to be 3 Billboards or Shape of Water.
I just didn't believe you.
Okay, well, next time believe me.
I probably just didn't want to believe you. Okay, so here's some great tweets about The Shape of Water. Everyone, okay, these are both from at Ashley Feinberg, who is a former Gawker writer. One is, everyone talks about how she fucked the fish, but no one's talking about how she fucked the fish twice. Which I think people need to be talking about, and she has a good point there. And then here's another tweet, not really related, sort of related to Shape of Water, but someone else tweeted, the most baffling thing to me is when a film wins Best Picture but not wins Best Director. This baffles me, blah, 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 blah. She replied to it and said, the Academy loved that she fucked the fish, but we're not crazy about the way she fucked the fish. Which I think is a good explanation of that. But yeah,
I like that.
I really didn't think that would win.
Did you see it?
No, because you told me that there was a sex scene.
Listen,
with the lady
okay,
and the fish,
wow.
So I objected.
Please don't make it sound like I just walk around talking about the sex scenes in Best Picture nominations.
I mean, you didn't just talk about it. You said, I watched Shape of Water. I said, how was it? You said, she fucked the fish.
Okay. Can I please try to string together a thoughtful commentary on Shape of Water?
Sure.
She fucks a fish, you guys. She fucks a fish. But it really is strangely beautiful. Okay, so you leave, you watch this whole movie about her fucking a fish and the guy with the dead fingers, and it's really disturbing and uncomfortable.
It looks visually amazing.
It
really does.
It's really, really beautiful.
And there's certain elements to it, like the lead is a woman, but not only a woman, she's a mute woman. So it's like a whole, kind of disabilities thing, or, thing. And then the director is an immigrant. Guillermo del Toro is great. He directed Pacific Rim, one of the best movies of all time. But it's so weird. Like, no one can get behind it because it's just about a lady who fucks a fish.
Okay, yeah, but you're supposed to look into it and realize that it's about the others, in quotes, and what the fish represents, and what she represents.
Sometimes fucking a fish is just fucking a fish.
But I don't think it's supposed to just be fucking a fish.
I know that's not what it's about.
I know. I'm trying to get past the fact that she fucks the fish. I'm sorry. I guess I don't have any thoughtful commentary on it. It's a beautiful movie, though, for the record.
Okay. I think we're ready to move past our awards. We've already really gone through most of the rants and raves, but we talked about Lady Bird. You had some really good, thoughts on the internet about it after, but I don't know if that was just, the despair you were in, and you're trying to make light of the situation, or how do you feel about the movie Lady Bird coming out of that? Because it really doesn't affect it, right?
No, it doesn't affect it. In the end, the fact of the matter is that, we got Lady Bird, right? We win because I ordered it on DVD today. I win because I exist in a universe with Lady Bird, and I get to watch this movie that's beautiful. It makes me feel understood and appreciated. And no, the fact that we walked away empty-handed doesn't matter. And eventually I'll understand that.
Eventually it won't matter, because at a certain point, like, no one gives a shit. And, like, that point probably comes, like, next week for most people. For you, it might be a little longer, because this is your life.
It's gonna be a little longer.
But, like, but, like, when you look back, like, no one really cares, like, about who won the Oscars 5 years ago. Like, do you give a shit?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, Forrest Gump won an Oscar, and that's a very average movie. We've talked about this, haven't we, before?
Yeah, we
We
have.
talked about it.
We don't need to dive back into that, but
Let me ask you this, Claire, because for, you know, a lot of when I talked about the fan favorites being Get Out and Lady Bird, for a lot of people the best moment was then Jordan Peele winning. Did you take any joy out of that yet, or no? Not
Yeah,
yet.
I do. I think it means the Academy is shifting in a direction it should shift. Like, I mean, I said, you know, I put it as my biggest winner of the night. I think that was an important win, and yeah, but I'm not part of the Get Out fandom. I'm part of the Lady Bird fandom, and we're empty-handed.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I think Get Out's the movie that we're actually going to remember in 10 years. I don't think any of the other movies that, like, will, like, keep in our
Like,
thoughts.
you're talking about, like, Shape of Water and, like, 3 Billboards and...
Yeah, like, I think Get Out's the movie that comes away. Like, in 10 like, they should have an Oscar from, like, 10 years ago, you know? Like, they should do 2008's movies this year.
That would be
And, like,
interesting, if they did it,
see-
like, 10 years out.
We should think about doing that for an episode.
That would be really interesting, because you're, like, not allowed to judge it until 10 years have passed.
Yeah.
And then there's not all the dumb shit of the movies debut at Toronto in the summer, and then they come out for, like, a week in the city you live in early December, because they're making an Oscar push, so they're only showing it in LA, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
You
I like
just
that.
remember, like, because didn't, like, Shawshank Redemption not win and Saving Private Ryan? But, like, 10 years, like, looking back, both of those clearly should have won.
Yeah, like, you probably couldn't
If they
name
didn't
another...
win.
You probably couldn't name another movie from that year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think Get Out will be like, oh, Get Out should have won.
Yeah, I think that was that one, and like Lady Bird. Okay, well, this is I texted Claire this after I saw Lady Bird. Lady Bird was a movie that I saw it because Claire was talking about it, so she loved it so much. But it was getting a lot of like buzz, like a lot of people that were like outside of the Claire universe even were loving it, and so I was like, okay, I'll see it. And honestly, I thought it was real like a great movie, but I was surprised it was getting kind of the like renowned across the board fandom it was getting, because I felt like it was targeted for such a specific viewpoint, which happens to be exactly Claire's. So, which is why she loves it so much, and she should. So like that's kind of what my thought on Lady Bird was walking out of it. And I thought Get Out is similar in that way, where you know, certain, I don't know, it really spoke to like a lot of African Americans love that movie, and it was kind of about that experience. So I think those two movies are definitely going to be more well known than Shape of Water, or something. What?
Never mind.
What? Say it.
You see, the problem today is none of the movies are geared towards me, straight white men. That's the problem with the movie industry right now, and that's why I wasn't a fan of the Oscars this year.
You're right.
I feel like at some point in my life that's going to be taken out of context, and I'm actually going to be ruined as a person.
Damn it, my beer spilled. I didn't even notice.
I was also kidding completely.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm just processing.
So, Claire, as we turn the page...
I have more to say.
Oh, okay, never mind. Continue.
Okay, here's what I've been thinking about, boys. You guys don't get to have an opinion about this. What I've been thinking about, if I thought it was a good night for women,
Are
And
you
like
asking us? Because
No,
you just said we
I'm
couldn't
telling
I
talk.
you.
don't have an opinion on it.
I'm telling you that this is what I'm thinking about, okay?
Okay.
So I'm thinking that we had some really important nominations. Obviously, we had Rachel Morrison for cinematographer. We had Francis's speech. We had Mary J. Blige's 2 nominations. Greta for best director. And then, we had Shape of Water as the first best picture with a female lead since $1 Million Baby.
Did you mention the cinematographer?
I did. Rachel Morrison,
Okay, never mind.
cinematographer,
Continue.
and Black Panther, of course. Now she has Black Panther. But you know what? Some real low moments for us too, right? We watched Kobe and Gary Oldman win. Ryan Seacrest was still on the red carpet. And then the 2 movies we saw win, 3 Billboards and Shape of Water, don't have great narratives for women. 3 Billboards, of course, is about the young girl getting raped and killed. And then Shape of Water ends with the disabled woman dying. So I don't think it was the best night for us. But, yeah, maybe I don't have an answer yet. But that's what I'm thinking about.
I mean, I think the 3 Billboards critique, like, I don't know if that's I feel like you could easily more focus on Frances, can't remember her last name's character coming out, like, if you view what she did as strong, which is potentially killing somebody, which I personally, like, I don't know if that's the thing you should take away
No, I'm
from
saying,
3
like,
Billboards.
as a young woman that walks out of 3 Billboards, that's what you saw as a reflection of yourself.
Yeah,
That's true. I can't. Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, but really, we had some great moments. Francis's speech, Greta telling us to make our movies.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone was lovely. So yeah, I'm optimistic.
Also, I heard Kobe's Kobe's film was not good and was the worst one. I didn't watch any of them, but I've heard that from somebody. And he just won because of his name, which he completely did, because Kobe's the fucking worst.
Didn't the guy who predicted, like, all the Oscars from The Ringer say that? It was
Yeah,
him.
that's exactly what it was.
And this guy from The Ringer predicted every single award except Best Picture. Which is pretty
That's
impressive.
crazy. You're so close.
Yeah. Made it all the way to the end. What else would you have to say, Claire?
I was like a little bit confused how obviously I was reading a lot. I was obsessing maybe a little bit about this coming up. But so many media outlets saying like, we have no idea who's going to win Best Picture. But it was pretty obvious it was going to be Shape of Water or 3 Billboards. So when I was like, why am I reading all of these articles telling me that I don't know who's going to win when I know it's Shape of Water or 3 Billboards?
Yeah, I didn't feel like that one was as much up in the air as, like, Screenplay was. I felt like Screenplay was wide open.
I told you Get Out had a chance for Screenplay.
I didn't
It's
believe
honestly
you.
like you didn't listen to me at all.
It is exactly like that. And
Well, that's offensive.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's just for ratings hype.
Yeah.
What do you make of it being like a not very watched Oscars? Didn't their ratings suck?
Yeah, I think it was the lowest one. What do I make of it?
Because I feel like people just aren't watching TV anymore. They're following it on. They're following it on Twitter. They're watching the highlights on YouTube. That's kind of what our generation does. We don't pay for that, so.
Yeah, I had to stream it illegally. Like,
I couldn't even find an illegal stream. I tried really
I
hard.
couldn't either.
I ended up doing my free YouTube TV trial, which I will be canceling shortly after we finish this. So, yeah. Also, like, people said the same thing about the Super Bowl, but it was like the 8th most watched television program of all time.
Really?
But it was like
That's
a dip in Super Bowl ratings.
Yeah. People
But-
just don't watch normal TV anymore.
That's not how we consume television. We wait till it comes out on like a Netflix or whatever, or we do what Claire does, which is single-handedly fund the entire movie industry by going to the movies 30
true.
times in a year.
I spent so much on movie tickets, I can watch the Oscars illegally.
That's a good point.
You get that right, absolutely.
Thank you.
Maybe that's why an illegal stream presented itself to you and not me and Noah. As we turn the page on the 90th annual Oscars, we look to next year. You've said you've seen 16 movies this year.
I have.
What is the vibe you're getting on this year's crop?
It's really early.
Yeah.
It's really early.
Because you really don't know until the Toronto Film Festival, which is in the summer.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, most of what I've seen has been 2017 releases.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a few not Oscar things, but there's a few fun things coming up. Wrinkle in Time, Love, Simon that I'm excited about. But yeah, I'm still processing all of this before I can even think about it.
You guys see Game
Tell me,
Night?
does Black Panther have a shot?
No, it does not. It has.
I can't even handle anyone talking about Black Panther in the Oscars right now. Like, take a
Black
breath.
Panther has the same shot as Wonder Woman.
What was Wonder Woman supposed to be nominated for? Why did I have to see
Nothing.
everybody
No,
talking about Wonder Woman not being
It wasn't supposed to be
nominated?
anything, and Black Panther shouldn't either. But they both.
No, I'm not gonna.
They're in the same kind of. I think I view them very similarly. I guess is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Game Night though. You mentioned that. That actually looks really funny. Really want to see it.
Claire, did you see it?
I did see it. I liked it. I was surprised that it had an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, but then after I saw it, I understood. I thought it was fun.
I felt the same exact way. Because I actually saw it when I went home. I saw it with my parents, and it was the movie my dad suggested. And based off the previews, I was like, I don't know. But then I looked it up, and it was like 85% Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, oh, I was surprised. And I saw it, I was like, yeah, I see why. The highlight of that whole movie for me, though, was when Coach Taylor talked to Landry, which Claire probably doesn't know what I'm talking about. You haven't seen Friday Night Lights, right?
I don't know which one Landry is.
Landry was the cop.
That's
Landry-
Black Mirror?
Wait, there's like a reunion.
Wait, the blonde cop who's in Black Mirror?
You mean the blonde, redheadish cop who's in Friday Night Lights?
The creepy neighbor cop.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, wow, hi. No, I did not know he was in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Landry and Coach Taylor are in this movie, and there's one scene where they talk to each other. It's very brief, but like I'm sitting there, and my parents are sitting there, like this is film history. This is like the best. That show was like so impactful and like so amazing.
Huge.
And the fact that they were in something together and they interacted was just like
It's like old friends meeting.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
way.
felt like.
Yeah.
That was still the highlight for me. But the whole movie was really good. Like when she's taking the bullet out of his arm. That was just hysterical. It
I like
doesn't
Jason
sound
Bateman.
hysterical, but
It does not sound hysterical. It sounds very dark, actually.
Yeah. All right. Any other tidbits before we Do you have any other tidbits before we transition to our fuck this things?
No, thanks for giving me an opportunity to scream about all this. I appreciate it.
It's what podcasts are for.
Yeah. Like 12 people are gonna hear your screams, but it's gonna be therapeutic in a way. Actually, no. This is a Claire episode. We get a huge bump when we bring on Claire.
That's so true. People might actually listen now.
It's so funny. You look at our episodes and it was like, our normal numbers, and then it was like Claire just shoots up. That was the first Claire episode. Then normal numbers. And then your second one wasn't as big a bump, but that was because you said you weren't going to tell people about it because you lost.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm hoping this one's more like the first bump.
Yeah, I'll share this one for sure.
Even though
this one will make the round.
Even though we had an extensive conversation about fish fucking, I still feel like this one can get a big bump.
I still feel like we hit a valley on the first part, though. That was still the low part. That was gonna cut out.
Okay. Well, Claire, would you like to go first or last? You're our guest.
Or the middle.
I'd love to go in the middle.
Okay. Noah, go first.
My fuck this thing, it's become a regular is Greyhound, because it's the worst fucking company ever. I was taking a bus on Friday night, and I get there right on time, and the bus gets delayed for 3 hours, so I just have to, 3 fucking hours, awful. So I just have to wait there till like 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and at 10:30, they cancel the bus. They make me wait for 2.5 goddamn hours, and then they cancel it, so I have to go home.
You take Greyhound pretty somewhat frequently, more than most people.
More than anybody should.
Yeah, and from what you've told me, they get canceled more than like any other ground transportation I've ever heard of. This isn't air travel, but it's like an airport. It's like worse odds than an airport, the way you make it sound. You get delayed.
It's the worst place on earth. I get delayed every goddamn time. I don't get it.
Okay,
so fuck the Greyhound. Claire, what do you got?
The Greyhound.
Okay, my fuck this thing is my own identity. But stay with me here. Okay.
It's getting dark.
Yeah, it is gonna get real dark right now. Okay, so in order to have my father file my taxes, I need to download my fourth and final W-2 for the year.
Okay, yeah,
which
that's
is
a common
from
thing.
my current employer, right?
Yeah,
so then I have to log into.
Work.
Yeah, okay, so fuck you, Eric. But I have to register for this website, and it's like I need my social security number and my name. Great, I get that far. And then they're like, okay, you need to confirm your identity. So then I was unable to confirm my identity 4 times.
Yeah.
So now I'm blocked out. They kept asking me what city I lived in, what city I went to college in, what county I've lived in, what address I owned, and none of them. I never lived in any of these places. And now I keep emailing the payroll department, and they're like, we can't help you. You should know those answers. And I'm like, no, I don't know these answers. I've never lived any of these places.
That happened to me.
My dad was like, oh, you can't confirm your identity because we bought you from gypsies. And I was like, honestly, that's fine. I'll take it.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah. And
that dad's awesome.
I've got to file under the poverty line anyways. I just need this final W-2.
I had a similar experience with my student loans because to set up like an automatic payment, they need to like confirm your identity. It's a similar sort of thing. And they asked me the most fucking out there questions that had nothing to do with me. They asked me if like my middle name was like Frederick. And I was like, no, my middle name's on the account. I can see it. It's at the top of the fucking screen. And it's not Frederick. It's never been Frederick. And then they asked me about like addresses in like West Virginia. Yeah, it's fucked up. Those things aren't as good as their purpose serves.
Now I'm questioning everything about myself.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was like, maybe my middle name is Frederick.
Yeah.
Did I live in West Virginia? I don't know. I'm glad you brought that to light, Claire. That needed to be said.
Thank you.
My fuck this thing, now hear me out, is the Golden Globes. And you're going to be thinking, Eric, this was so long ago. And I'm going to say, you know what, you're absolutely right. But I keep a running list of fuck this things. And it's been on my list since the Golden Globes. But I didn't write anything else, so I forgot why it's been on the list. And we have last gotten to it because I finally remembered why I put it on the list. And it's because the Golden Globes, they divide up a lot of their awards. The best actor and actress are divided between comedy or drama. The best, picture even is divided by comedy or drama. But for some reason, the best director and best screenplay are not divided. So why even divide the other categories if you're just going to have director just be one big category? It makes no goddamn sense. Also, why did James Franco win Best Actor for Comedy? Also, why was Daniel Kaluuya even in that category for comedy? No one knows. Fuck the Golden Globes. It's like several months too late, but fuck them.
There's no point of bringing James Franco into this, but I couldn't agree on everything else.
James Franco didn't even get nominated for Best Actor in the Oscars.
I honestly don't even know what movie James Franco was in.
The
Disaster Artist.
For a comedy? Is that a comedy? I thought that was not a comedy.
Alright, I'm gonna mute Noah. Not literally, but like mentally, I've muted him. Any last words, Claire, before we sign off?
Okay, yeah, actually I have an announcement.
Oh!
Yeah, my announcement. I waited till I was on the Drinking Buddies podcast to announce this.
Okay.
But I'm starting a podcast with my friend Beatrice.
Yes.
It's called Diplomas and Doubts. We're interviewing people about what they've been doing since graduation. And our trailer went live while we were recording right now.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I was so nervous I completely missed that. But
you're
now I'm not.
advertising another podcast on our podcast. And that's cool. You might take some of our listeners, but I'm
never.
excited.
Thank you so much, Noah.
I'm really excited. I'm
we
ready
want to
for
be
my invitation as well.
We don't have the same listeners. We've already established this. There's a big bump only for Claire.
That's a good point.
That's her listener base, and we'll bring her back when we feel like we need more listeners.
I can't wait for you to get way more listeners than us 2 episodes in.
No way.
All right. Noah, any last words?
No, have a good week.
All right, everybody. We have our mailbag episode coming up soon. It's our next episode, actually, because we planned these out, actually. So please send in your mailbag stuff. Claire, did you mail us something, like in the physical mail?
No, I'm not that creepy.
Because no, you asked us if letters were okay.
I know. I've just been making you guys sweat it out.
Are you sending us a mailbag question though? Because you have to now at this point.
I don't think it's going to be snail mail.
Okay. Well, you should still send us a question. We have a lot of questions. If you haven't already and you're thinking about it, now is the time to do it because we're recording that episode soon. And with that, have a great week, everybody.